And we're trying to do too much. We're trying to create too much when there's nothing there. And in the end, the story of the game was the turnovers. It's 30-11 points off turnovers, and it's a great lesson for our young guys. It's hard to win in this league. Every possession matters, and especially with the pace and the three-point shooting today. You turn the ball over with a careless play, it's automatically a layup or a three at the other end, and the whole momentum shifts. And so it takes a lot of discipline to play 48 minutes and keep making the right play over and over again. And so I love the effort tonight, but I thought we got a little too ambitious, and that led to some turnovers that really hurt us.
I think you had 11 fouls.
I'm sorry?
I think you had 11 fouls in the third quarter.
Yeah.
And that's the quarter you lost by 12. And you say it often, but turnovers ain't fouls.
Yeah. I mean, it's, defending without fouling is so important for a number of reasons, right? And part of it is, obviously, you don't want to give up cheap points, but it's hard to play offense when you're taking the ball in net over and over again. And so I think they shot like 15 free throws in the third. That was the other key, was turnovers and fouls. So, like I said, amazing effort by our guys. I'm really proud of them. And this should be a great learning experience for our group in terms of, what it takes to win a game, especially on the road, and we'll learn from it.
What did you think of Westbrook and what he's kind of...
Russell was great.
Yeah.
I thought, they got great effort and production from all their vets. DeRozan took over that third quarter getting fouled. Russell was incredible all night. And then Dennis, down the stretch, making big plays. Do you have any water, Randy? Thank you. So I thought it was a vet game, for them where thank you. I just thought they made the plays. They kind of used their savvy to get to the line, to beat us in certain spots, to, bait us into some turnovers. And our young guys got a lesson. Yeah.
Speaking of vets, you said all along you're not worried about how tough change. When you have a player, especially a veteran player, struggling the way he is, what can you do to help get him back on?
Just got to keep playing. I thought Al played a great basketball game tonight. The ball didn't go in. He took all the right shots. They all look good. They're going to go in. He's Al Horford. We know what kind of shooter he is. His presence defensively, his rebounding. He's a hell of a player. It's just a slow start for him, to be expected, honestly, when you go to a new team. And I'm not worried about Al at all.
Surprised you at all to see Will in double figures.
Man, Will was amazing. This guy from the beginning of camp has shown he's an NBA player, and the experience, the poise. He doesn't turn it over. He makes the right play. He can handle the ball under pressure. He makes the right pass. This guy's a hell of a player.
Coach, follow about Will and Kings player, the Nick.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Will and
the Kings player.
Could you speak into the microphone?
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. Will and the Kings player, the Nick Clifford, they both rookie, and they both have the 4 years college basketball experience. And you always mention about how important about those experience.
Yeah.
I was wondering, what's your impression of those young players have been able to fit in the NBA so quickly?
Yeah, the college experience is a big deal. Will played and won a national championship last year, and all those big games, all that learning that comes from playing under pressure, understanding what wins. It all matters. And so most players in the league today, come in with very little experience and playing big games. And it's hard for them to, suddenly be thrown into the deep end. And so the benefit of guys like Will and Quentin is you get all those reps at a high level in college. You're just, more ready for what you're facing in the NBA.
All right, we got BK ready.
Where are you seeing growth from Moses?
Moses has just found his groove, shooting the ball, obviously, and he's found his conditioning. You know, to miss 2 weeks of camp is really difficult, especially when camp is only 3 weeks and you start right into the season. So the first few games of the year, you know, he was behind, and he's clearly caught up. I mean, he is, you know, he's shooting the ball well, he's defending at a high level, he's competing every second. It's fun watching Moses play. Thanks.
Thank you. First career start real fast. Was that kind of the mindset for the rest of the league?
Yeah, just trying to keep it simple, but make impact on the game, trying to do the little things, cut in, hit open shots when I got the opportunity, just trying to make the most of it.
What's it like going from not playing, not just starting, but playing the way you did?
I mean, it's adjustment, but you always got to stay ready, and I'm a big believer in controlling what you can control, and whatever role I'm in, I want to do whatever it takes to help the team win. So whether not playing, I just want to see us win.
Steve says you're always in the right places, connector. How do you kind of learn how to be like connector and be in all the right places?
Yeah, I feel like it started during camp, just asking our vets a lot of questions, seeing what they like on the floor, how they think about the game. I feel like that's helped me learn a lot quicker than most rookies, because I've just been asking them many questions, trying to get on the same page with them. I'll probably just say the experience. I mean, you go through a lot of different situations in college, being able to play in different environments, get adjusted to adversity and all that. So I definitely think this 4 years helped me a lot and helped me be more prepared for my professional career.
How was the offense kind of different without the vets tonight? We had more featured role, but how did that kind of impact?
Oh, yeah. I'll probably just say we were a lot more in 5-out spacing, trying to get those ball screens early on and trying to play fast as fast as possible, trying to get out in transition and get stops and make the game a lot easier on ourselves, because, I mean, they do a lot for us.
Did Sacramento change anything they were doing in the third quarter, or what do you feel like changed?
Yeah, I feel like we started to foul, and it kind of slowed the game down. It got us out of our pace that we were playing in the first half. Once they slowed the game down, I mean, we kind of got out of our element, started turning the ball over, had some careless plays that affected us down the road.
Obviously, you came into this game knowing you have a bigger role. You scored 30 points and come away with the loss. Is there anything specific you might be taking away from this experience with all this playing time?
Yeah, I feel like with the more amount of minutes, you got to stay locked in. I feel like I had some couple of plays where I had defensive lapses, missed some box outs, let guys cut. And I feel like the more you play, the more you got to focus in, just because that fatigue factor. So I'll say that's what I learned from it.
Is it exciting that you got 30 points? That's pretty hard. Okay.
Nah, we lost.
Jonathan, what do you think the difference was tonight?
I think we came out with a great energy. Just going towards third quarter, I think we just started turning the ball over. Started fouling a couple shooters. And I think that took the energy out of all of us, especially after every turnover we did, including mine. They were able to score after every turnover, and I think just something we just gotta go through out there, especially around that time. A lot of people are tired or something like that. We just gotta find a way to execute certain plays when we're tired, or just especially in the third quarter.
You and Will time for
And Moses. Oh my.
in the first quarter. Just how were you able to?
First of all, Will is a great player, and he's somebody who listen. And as much as I can, I be out there talking to him. No matter the circumstance, I'm always trying to talk to Will. Especially as a rookie, there's a lot of expectation. There's a lot of eyes on you, especially with the coaches. You can't do something wrong. You can't turn the ball over. You just gotta play hard every second you get. And I think the last couple of games we haven't got to play, and he got his chance to come out here. And I think it was perfect. He was all around playing defense, crashing, rebounding, and scoring. So, it's just something. I feel like you work hard every single day and you stay ready. So I think that's what led to that point.
You got in foul trouble. Y'all had 11 total fouls. Or how big an issue
I think it just messed up the momentum of certain things we had going. And I'm not gonna blame, the referees or any of that, but there's certain fouls that sometimes I don't think I was fouling, but I think just me fouling, it kind of took the momentum out of the team, and that's my fault. But just gotta make sure we don't foul, because fouling just kind of stopping us from what we trying to accomplish and how we trying to play.
Without Steph, Jimmy, and Draymond going into tonight, was there a different mindset for you knowing you'd have the opportunity to be more aggressive, attack the paint more?
I think my mindset is always the same, no matter Steph, Jimmy, or Draymond. And I think every time I play with them, they want me to be aggressive every time. I think my mindset is always the same, especially, them not being here, it's just the same way. Just come here, find a way to win. Obviously, we didn't get the win, but my mindset is always to just go out there, play as hard as I can, be aggressive, and find a way to win.
What changes about the way that you get to your offense without those guys out there? You're more of a featured role.
I would just say, those are the main guys. They get involved every action. You got to know how to play with them. Especially when they're now on the court. It's just certain, you get a little more touches, you get certain stuff, drawn out for you. So, you got to seize those opportunities. But, with those guys, on the floor, you got to learn how to play with them on the floor. Sometimes it's not going to be as many touches as you expect, but as long as you just know how to play around them, you're going to get as many touches as anybody, because they're going to find you and, they're going to get you going.
Jonathan, Draymond's out tonight, but I saw him talk with you during the timeout. What message did he give to you?
I spoke to him a couple of times. Let me remember. Sorry. Oh no, I think I had score over small guard, and it's one thing because they had called a travel on me, and they told me, you just score over a small guard based on playing off 2 feet. Don't try to bully him or any of that. Just find a way to get off 2 feet, and you're gonna be able to raise over him. And it was just being out there, a vet, watching the game and trying to help us, feel comfortable as much as we can out there and find a way to win.
What's it like for you to see Moses play the way he did tonight?
I'm very happy for Moses. Moses is another guy, who work hard. And, he get his chances, he go out there, and show what he's capable of. And, like I said, we didn't get the win, so a lot of things don't really matter. The one thing that matters is just, he went out there and he was playing hard, he was defending and, he gave it all he had, so.
The Warriors' dream trade target after the Pelicans' disastrous start. The Golden State Warriors may have found their dream trade target, and it might be coming from a team in free fall. Despite a solid 4-3 start to the 2025-26 season, the Warriors have made one thing clear over the first 2 weeks: they still lack a true secondary playmaker. As much as Stephen Curry continues to orchestrate the offense with his usual brilliance, there's a growing sense that Golden State could use another creator, someone who can handle the ball, space the floor, and defend multiple positions. With the New Orleans Pelicans off to a nightmare start, 6 straight losses and no signs of stability, that need may align perfectly with opportunity. Enter Trey Murphy III, a player who fits the Warriors' DNA. Around the league, every front office keeps a mental list of players they value, whether or not those players are actually available. Murphy has long been one of those names, a 6'8" wing with elite length, defensive instincts, and a pure, repeatable shooting motion that holds up under playoff pressure. If a player like that suddenly becomes even potentially available, smart teams take notice. Murphy's combination of size, athleticism, and versatility checks every box the Warriors typically covet. He's the type of wing who can slide seamlessly into Steve Kerr's motion-heavy offense, play off Curry's gravity, and hold his own defensively in switch-heavy schemes. He doesn't need the ball to make an impact, but he's skilled enough to create his own shot when needed. He's not just a fit, he's the kind of player who could extend Golden State's title window. Why Murphy makes sense for Golden State. The Warriors have already retooled their roster around experience and leadership. The off-season addition of Jimmy Butler gave them toughness, defense, and another reliable shotmaker who can create in the half-court. But even with Butler in the mix, the Western Conference remains brutally competitive, filled with teams that can throw waves of athletic wings at you. That's where someone like Murphy becomes invaluable. He's the bridge between the old guard, Curry, Draymond Green, Butler, and the next generation of Warriors talent. His ability to defend multiple positions, hit threes at a high clip, and run the floor would give Kerr more flexibility in lineups, allowing him to keep pace with younger, faster teams while maintaining defensive integrity. He's exactly the kind of player you want next to a core like that, said one Western Conference scout. He can switch, he can shoot, he plays with energy, and he doesn't need 15 shots a night to be effective. That's the blueprint for longevity around stars like Steph. The strategic fit. Murphy's value extends beyond the box score. Defensively, his wingspan and timing allow him to thrive in switching schemes, something Kerr has leaned on heavily during his tenure. Offensively, he stretches defenses to the breaking point. When he's on the floor, opponents are forced to respect his shot, opening the driving lanes that Curry, Butler, and Green depend on to generate movement and mismatches. In short, he's the kind of two-way connector the Warriors haven't consistently had since their prime championship years. If Golden State were able to land Murphy, it would give Kerr the freedom to experiment, running small ball lineups with Green at center, using Butler and Murphy interchangeably as defensive anchors on the wings, and maintaining spacing without sacrificing defense. Timing and opportunity. The question, of course, is whether the Pelicans are truly ready to make changes. Teams rarely move young, talented wings like Murphy unless the season has gone completely off track, and New Orleans seems to be trending that way. A 6-game losing streak has already fueled speculation that the front office might consider reshaping its core around Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram. If that happens, Golden State would be foolish not to make a call. There's precedent for this kind of move. The Warriors front office has long balanced loyalty to its veterans with an awareness of timing, knowing when to act and when to wait. Bringing in Murphy would not only fill an immediate need, but also prepare the team for the inevitable transition from the Curry era to whatever comes next. The bigger picture. Golden State still believes its championship window is open. Curry remains elite, Butler has brought a new edge, and Green continues to anchor the defense. But the league has evolved, and the Warriors know that sustained success now requires depth, athleticism, and positional versatility. Murphy offers all of that, and he fits the Warriors' culture of unselfishness and intelligence. If the Pelicans' struggles continue, and if New Orleans starts listening to offers, this could become one of the most intriguing trade opportunities of the season. For the Warriors, it's not just about chasing one more title, it's about finding the right piece to bridge their past greatness with the future that's quickly arriving. And Trey Murphy, by all accounts, might be that bridge. What a trade could look like. While the idea of bringing Trey Murphy to the Bay is enticing, the logistics are where the conversation gets complicated. Murphy is still on his rookie scale contract and represents one of New Orleans' most valuable long-term assets. The Pelicans would only consider moving him if they were convinced that their current build isn't working, or if a deal brought back immediate help and future flexibility. For Golden State, that could mean parting with one of their young players and possibly a future first-round pick. Names like Brandon Podziemski, Jonathan Kuminga, or Moses Moody could surface in trade discussions, depending on how aggressive the Warriors' front office is willing to be. The Warriors have shown in the past that they are not afraid to make bold moves when the opportunity is right. The Jimmy Butler trade last year was a reminder that this organization still thinks in championship windows, not rebuilds. You never want to waste the final prime years of a generational player, said a league executive familiar with Golden State's mindset. If they believe Trey Murphy gives them another real shot at a title, they'll make the call. That's how they've always operated. Why the timing matters. The early season in the NBA is often full of overreactions, but for some teams, it's also a wake-up call. New Orleans' 6 straight losses have exposed deep issues on both ends of the floor, inconsistency in shot creation, defensive breakdowns, and an inability to close out games. The pressure is mounting on the Pelicans' front office to do something. Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram have shown flashes, but the supporting cast hasn't clicked. Murphy's shooting and spacing were supposed to be part of the solution, yet as the team continues to falter, the organization might decide to explore structural changes rather than minor tweaks. For the Warriors, that uncertainty represents an opening, a narrow window that championship-caliber franchises are trained to recognize. Potential impact on the Warriors system. If a trade for Murphy were to materialize, Steve Kerr would immediately gain a new set of options. He could deploy Murphy in smaller lineups alongside Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler, maximizing defensive versatility while keeping enough shooting on the floor to stretch opposing defenses. Murphy's ability to run the floor, spot up in transition, and defend both forward positions would fit perfectly in Kerr's fluid, read and react offense. It would also reduce the burden on Curry, allowing him to conserve energy for late-game stretches, a key factor as he enters his late 30s. Kerr loves players who can make quick decisions, said a former Warriors assistant. Murphy's one of those guys who doesn't overthink. Catch, read, move. That's exactly what keeps the system alive. Around the league, reactions and reality. Other teams are watching closely. Several Western Conference executives believe that if the Warriors were to land Murphy, it would re-establish them as a legitimate contender, not just for this season, but for the next 2 or 3 years. Meanwhile, for the Pelicans, trading Murphy would signal a major philosophical shift, from trying to build a balanced young core to prioritizing star-driven restructuring around Zion and Ingram. It could also lead to ripple effects across the conference, as other fringe contenders might feel pressure to act. Golden State adding Trey Murphy would be like when they brought in Andre Iguodala a decade ago, one scout noted. He's not a superstar, but he's the kind of piece that completes the picture. The risk and the reward. Of course, there are risks on both sides. The Warriors would be betting on Murphy's upside and health, while giving up youth and potential flexibility. The Pelicans would be parting with one of the few players who truly fits a modern, switchable style of play. But both organizations are reaching inflection points. Golden State knows its championship core is aging but still capable of winning at the highest level with the right support. New Orleans, on the other hand, faces the harsh reality that potential doesn't always translate to progress. That's why this idea, still theoretical, but increasingly plausible, feels like more than just trade speculation. It's about timing, identity, and the constant push and pull between the future and the present. Looking ahead. The Warriors aren't in panic mode. Their 4-3 start shows promise, not crisis. But championship teams don't wait for problems to become obvious. They anticipate them. And right now their biggest challenge is clear, finding another dynamic two-way player who can both complement and someday carry forward the standards set by Curry, Green and Butler. If the Pelicans' struggles continue and the lines of communication open, Trey Murphy could become the most realistic and impactful trade target on the board. Because in Golden State, the window is still open. And if history has taught anything, it's that when opportunity meets preparation, the Warriors rarely hesitate to make their move.